Hello, uh, hi guys. It's another day, a new day that we really thank God for this far. We appreciate and give Him all the glory. Today, I'll start off by a short story of how an eagle survives. Actually, an eagle is the only bird species that can live up to 70 years. But in order to live up to these 70 years, there are challenges it has to endure. There are battles it has to fight her way up for it to reach the 70 years that it's supposed to live as promised. So, challenges are there. And after the eagle overcome its challenge, it's promised of another 30 years. This happens in a form of, for instance, when it has lived for 40 years, imagine an eagle is guaranteed to live for 40 years. So after it has exhausted the 70 years, it has to make a painful choice. It has to make a choice that will determine if it's meant to continue living or it will just stop there and die. So this painful choice entails flying up to the mountain top, then sat there for 150 days, which is equivalent to 5 months. So in these 5 months, there is a lot of transformation that happens to the bird. Transformation that takes in a lot of perseverance, because there is a lot of pain involved. This is whereby it has to shed all its feathers, it has to break, or it hits the rock for a few days until the beak fall off, because the beak, after living for 40 years, bend, making it unable to eat or pluck food from different sources. The talons, the claws on its the talons on its feet also bend, making it hard for it to grasp the prey. So this 150 days entails a lot of overcoming, a lot of endurance, a lot of perseverance, because there is a lot of pain involved. It has to scratch the rock until the talons falls off. It hits the rock until the beak falls off, and in this process there is no eating. So it is total sacrifice. There is no eating. It has to stay there. There's no even taking water. It has to stay there just like that for 150 days. Also, it has to shed its feathers, because the old feathers grow thick and they cannot fly anymore. It makes it difficult for it to fly at high altitude. So this eagle, after this transformation, when the beak grows, when a new beak grows, new talons grow, and new feathers are generated, the eagle is guaranteed of another 30 years. So after that transformation, it performs a legendary rebirth flight. It flies up to the sky, up above the sky. And there is something about the eagle. Because of how the eagle was, let's say how it was created, the eagle is the bird that enjoys the storm, is the bird that enjoys going through challenges, whereby when it encounters storm, the eagle will just use the storm to fly above, or to fly on high altitude, high above the sky. So the eagle really enjoys storm. And us as human beings, this is a method that we can derive from such a situation. Just take an example of an example of the eagle. You are there, encountered with a different adversity. There is something that you're struggling with. Let's say the doctor came back with the results of the test that you had done earlier, and the diagnosis she or he is giving you is not what you expected. You have a deadly disease. Someone on the other side, the boss came in the office and knocked at your office and handed you a letter, and he told you, sorry sir, or sorry madam, from now henceforth you have to get another place that you are going to work in. You almost what I'm trying to say is that you are fired. You have a certain disease. You've counted a loss. You've lost a loved one. You've started a business and it failed terribly. Someone is in a relationship and all of a sudden the other partner tells you that it is over between you two, and now you have reached at your breaking point, and now you feel like you can't take it anymore. I'm here to tell you that don't let that situation kindly don't let that situation define you. Let it refine you. Don't fuel your disappointments. Don't fuel your heart. Don't fuel those painful moments that you are going through, because when you fuel them, because when you dwell so much on them, when you incubate them, they are going to pull you into depression. They are going to pull you into depression. The first step toward healing from any breakup, healing from any adversity, healing from any disappointment is acceptance. You first have to accept. Then after acceptance, there is the forgiving. There is the part of forgiving yourself. Just forgive yourself. Don't beat yourself up. By the way, we tend so much to lose it because we beat ourselves up because of the mistakes, because of what we allowed ourselves to dwelling into that relationship, dwelling into different frivolities, which now brought an addiction, disappointment, betrayal. So the first step, the first key is forgiving yourself. Just forgive yourself. Forgive yourself. Don't beat yourself up. Number 2, don't withdraw yourself from the rest of the people. Because let me tell you, these hurts, this adversity, this betrayal, resentment, bitterness, they like you better when you are alone. They don't like company. Let me tell you, depression doesn't like company. Resentment doesn't like company. So, and when you are alone, when you feed yourself in a certain place, this is when you are eaten away. This is when your brain is covered with despair, is covered with bitterness, is covered with hurt. And now, you cannot see the bigger picture. You cannot see yourself overcoming that storm. Use that storm as an eagle. Because after that storm, you are going to get wisdom. You are going to get a new energy. You are guaranteed of a new life that will take more than another 10 years. So do this, beloved. Don't quit. Don't give up. Don't lose hope. Don't quit. In whatever place you are in whatever situation you are in, just keep pushing, keep trying, and keep trusting God. Because, sometimes as friend may come to you, trying to tell you that whatever you're going through, you are going to overcome. There is a reason for whatever you're going through. But let me tell you, at that particular time, you may not see the reason. At that particular time, you may be beating yourself up, wondering why God allowed that or whatever you encountered to happen to you. But let me assure you, I was there. I know how it feels to be alone. I know how it feels when people are telling you, sorry, you will be able to overcome this. Sorry, we trust in you, you have the strength to overcome this. But deep down, you know you have reached your maximum. You cannot push any further. You cannot push it any further. But I'm here to urge you. I'm here to tell you that it's a matter of time. Whatever you're going through, it's a matter of time. Give it time. Actually, there is a statement that I really like. A statement that up to this point is the one that has kept me moving, has kept me going. Whereby I usually say, healing is directly proportional to time. When it's directly proportional to time and positive thinking, when prayers is kept constant. So the aspect of prayer does not change. You have to pray. You have to invite God in your situation. You have to invite God in your breaking point. You have to invite God in your heart. You have to involve God in your bitterness and ask Him, what is the way out of this? Because He has said in the scripture that in all our ways we should trust Him and not to trust our own understanding. So trust Him. Don't lose hope. Don't give up. Don't quit. Just persevere in whatever you're going through, because you are guaranteed, or your promise is on the other side. Your better days are on the other side. So overcome whatever you're going through, and you'll enjoy the rest of your life. Thank you, beloved. Till we meet again, have a nice day.